Hello everyone, this is Wizbasky and welcome to another PvP game on my Arcane Mage, level 110. This is my first and only game at 110. So I dinged 110 around 10:30 PM Sunday night, my time. Usually I log off around 10 PM. So I figured, okay, let's do at least 1-2 games, see what it's like before we log off. And this was the only game I recorded. It was a win. It was a fair result. I figured, yeah, that'll do. Just so I can talk about my thoughts on leveling up, and so far so good. So now a few things I want to talk about. First of all, let's talk about the leveling aspect. So far, now those videos I uploaded with all those dungeons of doing Arcane Explosion spec, you know, everyone kept saying it should drop off into the 80s, the 90s, the 100s. You know, you should start seeing it taper off and other classes, other specs starting to become superior. No, that never happened, never came close. That style of play in those dungeons of, and not just purely spamming Arcane Explosion, you have to do various things. I can't remember what my number 2 ability is, but it's sort of like an Arcane Welling or something. You put it on them, it's a dot over 10 seconds and it does AoE for people. You put that on them. When you're down to one individual mob, you do Arcane Missiles. You might want to do a few Arcane Bursts to get some Arcane Missiles. So you are using different abilities, and especially when it comes to the boss fights. Arcane Explosion doesn't work on boss fights, especially at the 100 bracket in the Broken Isles. But until today, one of the dungeons I did today, no one has come close to the DPS I've been doing in every dungeon. Now today I did a dungeon with a level 110 rogue. He finally beat me by 1%. So I think he did like 36% overall damage. I did 35% overall damage. That's the closest anyone's gotten to me since I started doing that Arcane Explosion spec. Now keep in mind, he was a level 110, I was 104. He had 2700 K HP, I had 1000, so that gives you an idea on item level difference. Now there are going to be those who say, yeah, sure, in dungeons I'm sure it's still fine, but in raids it won't work. And yeah, I'm sure that's accurate. Even on my Elemental Shaman with 872 item level, I was coming like out of 20 people in the raid, I was somewhere around 12th. You know, I never was very high anyway, so I didn't expect to do great with that style of attack. But in dungeons, it's damn viable. So I just wanted to say, for all those who think it would taper off, no, it didn't. It's still perfectly fine, even all the way up to 110. I did a couple of dungeons today, still working fine. Now, it took a little longer than I thought to level up the Arcane Mage, especially in the 100 to 110 bracket. And the main reason for that, leading up to 100, I was able to do dungeon after dungeon after dungeon, and only doing like 1 or 2 quests in between each dungeon. Therefore, never really seeing the deficiency of this spec or my playstyle on this spec. And the thing I'm talking about is, in dungeons, I constantly have to eat after every major pull because I'm using Arcane Explosion so much. Outside of questing, you're only killing 1 or 2 mobs in between dungeons, so you don't really notice it. But in the 100 to 110, you know, Broken Isles area, you do lots and lots of quests. I mean, I only did 4 or 5 dungeons, the ones that are associated with a quest. The rest of the time I just did 99% quests, and you absolutely are sitting after every kill. Now you might kill one mob that's standing in front of you, you know, between you and where you have to go, and go, I'll just kill it, and then that way I don't get aggro. You'll be sitting and eating after that pull. You might want to attack a small cluster and do Arcane Explosion to kill them all at once. Perfectly fine, it works well, but you'll be sitting and eating after that pull. No matter what you attack, one mob, a small cluster, you're going to be sitting and eating after every pull. Now on a 1v1 fight, you're going to use about 20% mana, maybe 30% if you didn't get any procs of Arcane Missile. On a small cluster, you'll probably use about 60% mana and probably come out of the fight at 80% health. virtually you are going to be sitting and eating after every fight. Every fight, no matter how small, how big, every fight you'll be sitting and eating and topping up your mana, and that slowed me down. Now I did try Frost Spec and Fire Spec. I've got all my artifact weapons. I tried every spec at various points from 100 to 110 to see which one do I like, which one do I want to quest with. And this is my breakdown. So if Arcane spec is 100% killing power, that's the best spec out of the three. I have a look at this, 2 ice mages are on me. I go, shit, ice block, I was down to 0 health, how did I not die? And now there's a healer somewhere in the vicinity healing me back up. And then I come out of it, focus on the one mage that's low on health, we kill him, and then everyone jumps on the other mage and I survive. How that happened, I don't know. So I tried, so if Arcane spec is 100% killing power, the best spec out of the three for the the hardest hitting spells and the quickest of killing, it is 100%, but you're going to have to sit and eat after every fight to regain mana and health. Fire is about 80% of the same DPS output, but has almost no mana deficiency at all. I don't think I ever saw my mana bar drop, meaning if you want a good high DPS spec, burn through mobs at a fair rate, almost equal to Arcane, but never have to worry about mana, Fire is the way to go. But I liked Arcane. I was trying to build up my muscle memory and skill with using Arcane, because that's the spec I want to play in PvP. So I stuck with Arcane the whole way to build up muscle memory. But Fire would be definitely the way to go with questing. So if Arcane is 100%, Fire is 80%, Frost is about 40 to 50%. Now it might appear like, well, you just nearly got your ass kicked by Frost in PvP. How could it be 40%? This is PvP, they have honor talents, they have artifact unlocks. In questing, it sucks shit. I was taking forever to kill a mob on Frost, and I was nearly dying on quite a few fights. It took so long to kill mobs. They were doing so much damage to me, I was nearly dying on pulls. As far as, so yeah, it was very low DPS. Now as far as world rare bosses or world rare mobs, they're scattered all over the place, with the silver dragon around their icon. I came across, well, many of them, the big ones, the highest health ones, they're actually quite a struggle to kill. I had to use my Sand of Time's ability to speed up my haste. I had to use every cooldown I had to kill them efficiently without losing too much health. There was lots of blinking back and forth from them, and then using your Frost Novas to lock them in place. Lots and lots and lots of movements. Some fights I came out of the fight with 5% HP left. There was one boss, one golden dragon elite, that you have to kill for a quest. He's a moose with 2 harpies guarding him. 6,500k HP, where I only had 1,000. I couldn't kill it. There was no way I could kill it. I actually asked a level 110 who was passing by, man, could you tank it for me so I can kill it? And we burnt it down together. Now I remember doing that mob on my Warlock and Shaman, and doing it solo, because Shaman you can do DPS, heal yourself back up, do DPS, heal yourself back up, and just keep going, whittling down bit by bit. A Warlock, an Affliction Warlock, is just drain tanks him. So Warlock and Shaman, I never needed help, other than the really big elite boss mobs that everyone needed a group for to bring down. But most of the individual ones you're meant to do for quests, or the random silver dragon rare mobs that are scattered around, never needed any help before, but it was a struggle on the Mage. Now a few things I don't like about the Mage. One, the Arcane Missiles is your bread and butter. Well, not exactly, I mean your Arcane Burst is your bread and butter, but you're wanting Arcane Missiles to proc. And this is another thing I don't like. Invisibility never works. If you're not under attack, nothing, you've got no dots on, sure, it'll work. Maybe if you went into Ice Block and then came out and then activated Invis, it would probably work. But I didn't have any dots on me other than a sort of snaring effect from Frost, and it took me straight out of invisibility. So I don't like invisibility. It never seems to work in actual combat, especially when you don't have dots on you. And when does that never happen? With balanced druids putting moonbeams and affliction warlocks putting corruption, you always got dots on you, so it's never going to work. So you want your Arcane Missiles. They're your bread and butter big DPS abilities, and I've got the talents that give me an extra 5% chance for my Arcane missiles to proc. So Arcane Burst has 30% chance. I have an extra 5% chance from my talents, depending on how much mana I have. And it still rarely procs. Sometimes you get lucky and get 3 procs back to back, and then other times you don't get them at all on a fight. And you go, Jesus Christ, you saw me in the game, I did like 4 Arcane Bursts, not 1 Arcane Missile. And they're the big DPS ability you have. It doesn't cost any mana, and it rarely ever procs. So squishy, invisibility doesn't work, you know, the blink not getting you out of snares and everything, unless I just go back to normal blink. And Arcane Missiles never proc. Makes it a very sort of class to play. But I'm going to continue on with for next week or two and see what it's like then with all the Honor Talent unlocks. But that's the end of the game. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Don't let the door hit you where the cataclysm splits you.